Uh, First, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Leonardo Rojas, aka Fo. I'm a Colombian turntablist, DJ, and producer for over 17 years. I'm an Ableton certified trainer. I became a certified trainer since 2017. So that's almost 4 years that I'm being involved with this Ableton family. Also, I'm a two-time Red Bull 3 Style national champion. So if you don't know what's the Red Bull 3 Style, it's probably the biggest DJ competition right now. So I was a two-time world finalist. Besides that, I work for a company called Pioneer DJ. Probably you know this company because they make mixers, CD players, headphones, and I help them to create products. And additionally, I work as an instructor and a teacher in Turntable DJ Academy, SA Dubai. So if you have any question and inquire about, related to Ableton or Pioneer DJ, or maybe take a course, don't hesitate to reach me out with my socials: Instagram, Twitter, DJ Fo, Facebook, DJ Fo Colombia, and my YouTube channel, DJ Fo. Great. Without further ado, let's see this guy, Ableton Live 11. So Ableton Live 11 has a different updates, and it controls different concepts to any update. So create your perfect take. So I'm going to jump into my keynote into Ableton. I hope you don't mind about that. So create your perfect take is related to how you can draw now MIDI scales. So I'm going to jump into Ableton Live 11, and I'm going to select this electric piano that I have here. I'm going to drag and drop. And here we have the electric, which, by the way, if I open here, you can see that the interface has changed in Ableton Live 11 into the electric device. We have a new interface. So I'm going to select this region. I'm going to press Command-Shift-M to create a MIDI clip. Close my browser to have a better view. And in my clip view, I'm going to double click here. And can you see that here I have this scale button that enables the key that I want to work and the scale I want to work. So let's say I want to work on D sharp, E flat, minor. So if I click here in the scale, technically, I can see all the notes that are in this E flat, D sharp, minor. If I click here, Ableton Live 11 is going to show me the keys, but also it's going to show me the keys that are not in the scale. So obviously, it's better to work with the scale mode. So I'm going to draw a couple of notes to create a chord progression. Notice that I'm just gonna draw any note. I'm not conscious of what I'm doing, actually. It's kind of a randomized process here. So let's see what I get from this randomized process. Nice. Great. So let's select these MIDI notes that I just create. Let's add some legato to have more expression to this. Awesome. So using this scale mode, which is related with the scale mode in the Ableton push, you can create easily chord progressions. And actually, you can create melodies. So what happened if I select this, Command D, I'm going to duplicate this instrument, and I'm going to select all these notes, erase this. Oh, sorry. There you go. There you go. I'm going to select all to erase these notes. I'm going to increase a little bit the octave, and I'm going to start creating a melody here. Again, I don't know what I'm doing, but I trust the scale mode because I'm working with the scale that I previously worked on my chord progression. So let's see what's going to happen. Let me enable those tracks. There you go. So it's a very easy way to control or to create chord progressions, harmony, and melody. Cool. So that's a scale. Include MIDI scales. And also, we have something called, in Create Your Perfect Take, creative comping. So basically, if you go to Ableton Live, and if you create an audio track, Command T, you can see that I just created this audio track. But if I right-click this audio track, now I have a new type of track in Ableton Live 11, which is called Insert Take Lane. I'm going to click that one, and immediately it's going to add a lane into my audio track. I can use the shortcut, which is Alt-Shift-T, and all these three lanes are going to be related with the audio. So previously, I have selected these drum loops. Let me show you really fast. I have this first one. Okay, second one. Cool, third one. Awesome. I'm not sure if you guys can hear this. Can you hear the sound of my Ableton Live? Yes. Let me check the, oh yes, perfect. Awesome. Cool. So I'm going to select these three loop drums. I'm going to drag and drop here. And when I play these three loops, nothing's going to happen because these three lanes are related to this audio channel and nothing is here. And that's the cool thing about creative comping. So when you press B or select this tool, which is the draw tool, I can select different parts from my loop depending of my grid. So if I select this, let's say this, okay. So I'm chopping, I'm cutting my three different samples and I'm creating a whole different sound and sequence. So let me to finish here. There you go. There you go. Okay, here, 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 here. Cool. So let's see what happened with this. I'm going to solo my drums and let's see what we have with our creative comping. Oh, I know what happened. So apparently I add the strings. So I add the strings. Let me take this out. I'm going to go again and select my drums here. There you go. Okay. So I have drums right now, or even with the string sounds kind of interesting. So here I'm going to select this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, you know, very randomly, and let's see what happens. There you go. So I just create this different rhythm with 3 different samples, drum samples, but it has a different sound and different groove because I'm taking 3 different grooves and merge them at the same time. There you go. Let's listen this with the chords that we just create. So I think I'm going to select this snare here. Awesome. So in case that I don't want to see these lines, the only thing that I have to do is right click and say show or hide take lines. Click here and I don't see all my lines there. Also, if I want to record, I don't know, a singer or a guitar, I can do the same process, show the different takes, and I can select my preferred take and add it into my main audio track. Cool, so this is creative comping. Let me hide this again. Great. Okay, so next concept that we have is add more feeling to your music. About that, we can see something called MPE, which stands for MIDI Polyphonic Expression. So MIDI Polyphonic Expression, let me do a little definition of this. So MPE it stands, as I said it before, for MIDI Polyphonic Expression. This is a way of using MIDI to enable the MPA capable devices. For example, Ableton Push 2 has is capable to control MPE with the pressure. So this is going to allow you to have a more expressive performance with each note. So let me show you how this works. Okay, before that, Simpler, Sampler, and Wavetable, they are the only devices that are that can use MPE in Ableton Live 11. So let's go back to our session. Let's go to our browser, and here I have this synth, this wavetable. Unfortunately, I was trying to connect my my other camera, but it wasn't possible. But I'm going to play with my Ableton Push. You're going to see a chord here. Let me unsolo this. There you go. Sorry, it's kind of loud. Let me change the volume here. Great. So we have this new tab called MPE, which MIDI Polyphonic Expression, and I have the matrix here. So since my Ableton Push 2 only can controls pressure, I can tell to the pressure to control one of these elements. It could be pitch, it could be the position of the oscillator 1, it could be, I don't know, the filter. So let's try first with the pitch. I'm going to apply this amount. And when I press my Ableton Push, the pitch is going to be affected when I press it harder or softer. So I'm going to show you. Unfortunately, you can see, but I'm going to play it. So in that order, you can control any parameter in simpler sampler or wavetable using a device that has an MPE values. Also, let's say I want to control, I'm going to, put this in 0, and I'm going to control the filter frequency 1, and I want to add the frequency 2, so I have to click here, and when I click it here, I'm going to see it in the matrix, so I'm going to increase this. So when I press my Ableton push, like moving harder or softer, I'm going to affect these two filters. Let's see it. Great. So MPE is going to allow you to have more expression in your performances, and it's a really nice way to experiment your sounds. Great. Also, into MPE, we have the MPE control device that you can find in the MIDI effects. Oh, hold on. There you go. Here in MIDI effects, you can select MPE control. I'm going to drag and drop right in front of the synthesizer. This is a Max for Live device, as you can see. So I can add some control to, in this case, to the pressure. I can change it to the slide, to the pitch, but to the pressure, I can create this curve to have a softer process. So if I move this, notice what's going to happen with this curve. If I increase this to the other side, this curve is going to control the pressure in this case, so it's not going to be that harder. So MPE control is going to make easier to control my MPE matrix. Great. So that's MPE. Now let's go to the next concept, which is experiment with new devices. So Ableton Live 11 has a couple of new devices. Let's see first the hybrid reverb. So hybrid reverb combines convolution reverb. If you are a user of Ableton Live 10 and you have used Max for Live devices, you should note that this reverb, convolution reverb Pro, was in previous versions of Ableton Live 11. So this hybrid reverb, it's a fusion of the convolution reverb and algorithmic reverbs. So you can make or achieve different type of reverbs with this new audio effect. You can get real life environments, or you can get into more surrealistic reverberations sound effects. So let's go to Ableton Live. I'm going to mute this guy, and I'm going to apply my reverb, which I want to show you these two. In audio effects, now we have different folders. So the audio reverb, the audio effect of the reverb is here in time and space folder. And you can see we have the classic reverb, and we have an hybrid reverb. I'm going to drag and drop into my chord progression, they create randomly, and I have my hybrid reverb. So here I can change the tag and the decay. So if I play this, I can change the decay of the whole reverb here. Also, it has an EQ, and I can get rid of those low frequencies that I don't want, because, you know, in the reverberation, I don't want those low frequencies like bouncing around. And we have something really cool, and is that the bass mono. So all the frequencies under 100 are going to be monophonic. And this is like really, really nice about this reverberation. Also, here I have a couple of presets. So let's say I'm gonna have these real places, or let's textures, and I can select different options. Great. Also, if I go to samples and I select, sorry, and if I select one of those samples, I can drag and drop this sample here. And this reverb, as it was in the previous convolution reverb, is going to take the waveform of this sample and is going to use it as a reference for a reverberation. So let's take a look. So what we hear is this waveform transform into a reverberation, which is pretty cool. Nice. So this is the hybrid reverb, very interesting new audio effect device. Let's move on into the next one, which is a spectral resonator. A spectral resonator breaks the spectrum of an input or from an incoming audio signal, and it changes the whole signal, you know. It stretches, it shifts and blurs to create a new frequency. So let me show spectral resonator. This one, again, is under audio effects. And if I type here spectral, it's going to be in pitch and modulation. So a spectral resonator, drag and drop again into my chord progression. Notice that I have this visual reference. And right now I have a resonator. If I turn off this is my original sound. When I turn in this, and I can add a couple of effects. Let's add a chorus. Awesome. Let's add a wonder. And I can change the frequency or the note. So right now it's in A1. So we are working in D sharp or E flat, and I'm going to enable the dry wet. So I'm adding this resonator to my sound, and it's going to make it like richer. This is without. Nice. I can increase the decay. And I can add granular effect, which is going to add some grains around the sound. Awesome. If I change this, this is the resonator. And also you can generate an input from the MIDI, so we can use the same MIDI information to trigger the resonators. So let's see what happens. So they're still there. That sounds beautiful. Awesome. So that's a spectral resonator. And next, on the new devices, we have a spectral tank, which is kind of related with the spectral resonator. So this is going to transform sound into partials and fits them into a frequency-based delay. So it's basically a delay that you can freeze. and you can have like different glitched and stuttered and wash out sound effects. So let's go here. Let's select spectral time. I'm going to delete this one for the moment. And I'm going to play again. I'm going to increase the wet. And I can freeze this delay with this button. I can select hit the type of time I want to freeze. The spray of the sound around. And I have the resolution, so if I apply ultra, I'm going to have more definition of the sounds in my result. I just click here the onset, so I'm not syncing, so that's why it had like this kind of chaotic sound, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna play again. If I change here, hit this. Okay, that's a spectral time. You have an idea of what you can do with this, kind of a background, cinematic kind of atmosphere, you know, sounds. Great. So next audio device is a pitch loop 89. We're gonna have so yeah, this is a pitch loop 89, which is a Max for Live device actually. It's right here. I'm going to add it right here in front of my Rhodes, my electric Rhodes. And this pitch loop 89, sorry, was designed by our friend Robert Henke, one of the founders of Ableton, and is inspired by the Publison DHM89 classical effect processor, and is going to create a glitchy again effects with digital delay. So I have my left side and I have my right side here. So if I have this button on, I'm going to enable both at the same time. But if I have this off, I can select one individually. So I'm going to start with the left-right. And I can change the position of this delay. And add some randomness. If I turn on the right side, I can change the random to the right side. Change the feedback. And something really cool, I can change the sample rate here. So if I add all the dry wet, I can play with this too, with a randomized result, segments, the pitch, yes, you're gonna have a lot of fun with this one. Great, so that's one of the new devices. There's more devices that unfortunately are not in this beta version, but there's a couple of new devices that I can show you right now because I don't have it here. Okay, we have updated a new classics. So right now, phaser and flanger, they are now one device. So if you go here, if you go to Audio Effects, you can see here that we have phaser and flanger. So I'm going to delete this pitch loop 89. I'm going to add drag and drop. And right now it's in phaser mode, and we have this classic 70s Rhodes sound effect. But if I change to flanger, I can select that moves related with the tempo, with the signature, or with hertz, based on frequencies. And here the doubler is going to merge both. Sounds a little chaotic, but it sounds good. And here can I add some warmth, which is basically add a little distortion to the sound effect. Great. So we have the phase flanger. Also, we have one of the classic ones. We have Redux that has a nice update. So here, if I go to Redux, it's going to be in the dry folder. I'm going to drag and drop, delete phase flanger, and I have a new, compared to the previous version, I have a new knob. So I can reduce beats, change the rate sample rate, add some jitter. In case you are interested to make lo-fi hip-hop, this is the audio effect I will recommend to you. And also, one of the cool things about this new Redux is that it has a dry wet, something that it wasn't there before. So I can mix my dry signal with my wet signal. Okay? Another one is the chorus ensemble. So if I go here to chorus, I'm going to drag and drop again. And I'm going to have this new interface of chorus. I can add this ensemble. Change the shape of my waveform. And personally, I like the vibrato mode. That can add this lo-fi, emulation of the tape, creating this. Great. So that's the chorus ensemble. And we have these 4 instruments, tension, collision, and electric, which are the same, but in the visual reference, in their interface, they have changed. So they are more friendly. Corpus, which is an audio effect, has also changed his interface, but the sound of the effects are basically the same. Great. So let's see now, do more on stage. Here, we have now tempo following. So basically, live can listen right now an external audio input, and based in that external audio input, can take the tempo of that input. So it's very handy when you're playing with a band or a drummer, and you can take one of the microphones and send it to Ableton, and he's going to find the tempo. So it's based on a Max for Live device called Beat Seeker, but right now it's by default here. Here, next to the link button, we have the follow button, but you can set up this. So go to the preferences. Oh, sorry. Going to the preferences, you can go here and in tempo follower, show tempo follower toggle, which is this one. and select the channel that you want to receive the audio from. So it's in 1.2. I don't have an interface right now. And unfortunately, I don't have connected nothing to my interface. Let me try with, if I connect this to another input. Oh yeah, it's there. So, well, it's not connected yet. But if I have an input, I can press follow and it's going to change my tempo according to the input that this audio is receiving. So again, it's very handy when you're performing live with a band or a drummer or percussionist. Okay. Also, we have something called macro snapshots, which is, for personally, is one of my favorites updates. So we have macro snapshots and 16 macros. So macro snapshots, basically you can take a picture of your snapshots and you can change those snapshots live. What I'm trying to say is here, as you can see, I have these sounds, right? These patterns that affect my sound. I'm going to delete this. So if I click this little snapshot logo icon, let's say that I want to change this, and I can take a snapshot of this. But if I want to change the auto pan, I can take a snapshot of this pattern, and now I'm going to have this pattern, but at the same time I can have this pattern that was before this one, because it took the snapshot of that. Also, you can have right now the chance of having 16 macros, or actually you can have only one. So when you have 16 macros, you can do actually a lot. So right now we have 2, 4, 6, 8 macros. And there's a new feature also here called randomize. So I can start pressing randomize, and it's going to randomize the position of my macros, and this is going to affect my sound. So I can start looking for different type of randomized elements to see which one is going to work. Let's take a look. That's kind of cool. So if I like this one, I can create a new snapshot. Let's press randomize. That's cool. Let's explore another one. I like this one. So new. So I can have different variations. So let's press this one. Let's press this one. Every time it's taking back the snapshot. Great. Cool. So we have 16 macros, and we can have a randomized process to these macros, and we can take snapshots of these macros. Okay, next concept, be unpredictable. So here we have two new values, no chance and velocity chance. So I can set the probability to each MIDI note or to each velocity. So let's go again to our MIDI clip, double click. I'm going to hide this, and I'm going to click here, and please notice that I have my classic velocity edit form, just that this time is with these lines. and I can add probability. So what happened with probability? I'm going to select all my MIDI notes, and I can, decrease this. So right now, I just tell to this guy that at 69%, please allow me to play these notes. So sometimes it's going to play it, sometimes it's not going to play it based on this probability number, percentage. So let's see. He didn't play it there. So this creates this unpredictable type of interpretation and chord progression in this case, which is interesting if you want to, have this element in your composition. Also, you can randomize these values. If I select Command A and select all the MIDI notes and all the values, I can select randomize, and I can tell randomize with a threshold. So if I want to have higher values, I apply 127, or I can have maybe less, and I can have a velocity range. So let's apply this randomized process here. Let's press it again. And change the probability here. So you can actually be pretty unpredictable with these MIDI notes and MIDI velocity and probability process. Great. Also, we have more follow actions. We have one more follow action, and we have follow actions to the scenes, which is pretty cool. So let me show you here. I'm going to double click this part. Nice. And if I click this, oh, sorry, there you go. So if I go to my session view, there you go. Notice that here I have a follow action, right? So I'm going to select this clip, which is the clip from my melody. Oh no, it's right here, sorry. I'm gonna play here. That was the first clip I recorded with the melody. I'm going to drag and drop underneath this clip, and oh, actually I'm going to drag and drop here. So the new follow action, it's called jump. So I can tell to this clip, the first one, to jump into any of the clips I want in my same MIDI track. So right now I have this clip in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the 5th slot. So I apply 5th, and I'm going to tell to this guy, hey, at the 4 bar, when you repeat 4 times this sequence, actually let's say 2. 2 times you're going to jump to the 5th slot. So let's try that. Oh, sorry, this is solo. There you go. 2 times, and it's going to be here. Great. Also, if I go here in my session view, if I click here, you can see I have a new scene menu that enables to add follow actions to my scenes. So let's say I want to add a follow action to my scene. Let's say to play Let's apply jump again to the fifth one. And let's add this drum back in our track. So when I play this one, it's going to jump into the fifth slot and it's going to play this scene. Let's try that. Let's do it again. There you go. We can see here that it's jumping at 1 bar. We can change it to 2 bars. So at 2 bars, it's going to jump into the fifth slot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, go. So it's very handy if you're performing live. You can set up all your scenes and apply different follow actions. Also, probably you already saw this, you can change the tempo of each session. This is something that was in previous versions, but a lot of users didn't know about this because you had to right click. Now, you only have to drag and select the tempo that you want, and it's going to change the tempo. So right now, let's apply here in this scene 107, and let's apply this scene 78, and in this one 115. So I'm going to play this. So even if that feature was in Ableton Live 10, you are going to find easily here in Ableton Live 11. Great, so those are follow actions. Here, work with new sounds. I'm going to show you one device. There's a lot of devices. I'm going to show you voice box. Unfortunately, I don't have all the devices in this beta version. So here, I'm going to go to packs. I'm going to turn off the follow. I'm going to select voice, which is right here, voice box. And this sound pack is pretty interesting. It's going to add some choral voices. So I'm going to play my track. Oh, let's take back our tempo to 95, I guess. And I can play with my As you can see, I have different snapshots here. So if I play this, my sound is going to change. This is my sound by default, but if I press this wispy wash, it's the same instrument, but I can change my sound pressing the snapshots that I previously showed to you guys. Sorry, my CPU is going crazy because I'm recording and I'm streaming this video. So I hope you understand this. But yeah, this pack has a lot of different sounds. We have a complex voices here. So I'm going to drag and drop here. I'm going to show you. It's more of like kind of a Steve Reich type of thing. If you click it here again, well, we don't have snapshots here, but we can create them. Great. So that's the voice box. Is one of the new sounds. We want to have more. We have more collaborations even with Spitfire, but as I said before, it's not available yet in this beta version. And we have more additions. We have an improved CPU metering, which is pretty cool. If I go to my session view, you're going to see that each channel has an independent way to track the CPU use. So if I play this, I'm seeing that the device is using more CPU compared to the others. If I play this, I can see that this one is using more CPU. This one has less, but if I play this, so in that sense, I can say which one I can freeze because it's consuming more CPU. And also we have an update CPU view. So if we click here, we can see the average CPU use and the current CPU use. If this is just to preview, you can't control this from here. This is just like, you can see the consume of the CPU. But here, you can do something because you know this one is consuming a lot, so you can right click and you can freeze the track if you want to have more use of your CPU. Great. And we have something called link, and that's going to allow you to clip editing easily. So I'm going to go back to my arrangement view. We have 3 tracks, right? So I'm going to select them holding Shift, right click, and I'm going to say link tracks. So if I move this, or if I cut this, all the tracks are going to be there. So if I cut this, so I don't have to select all the things, you know, from bottom. I just can select it. And so you can control or you can edit easily with this feature. If you want to disable this feature, shift to all the tracks, right click, unlink tracks, and you're going back to normal. Great. And we have groove and templates in an independent folder. So here we have groups that previously you have to use another way to get there into the user library. Now it's there. And we have a folder, a category, of templates. So in case that you want to, I don't know, to work on a podcast today, you just have to drag and drop this file or double click it, and you're going to have your podcast template. Or if you want to do house today, you probably can have a house template and open it. So how can you create a template? Go here to File, and the set that you are working, you can say, hey, save live set as template, and it's going to be here. So it's going to be easier to start a new project. Okay, this session has been the longest of our previous sessions. So I think it's time to Q&A. I tried to summarize all the features, all the new features of Ableton Live 11. And yeah, so send me a chat I'm going to try to answer all your questions. So, okay, great overview, very cool. Okay, let me see. I don't see the questions here. Okay, so someone is asking, is the upgrade from 10 Live to 11 free, or how can we update 10 to Live 11? If you already have Ableton Live 10, I think you have to pay for the upgrade. I'm not sure how much, but you have to pay for the upgrade. Can you use the different macro scene snapshots in different scenes? Yeah, basically, yeah, because if you are playing those macro scenes, yeah, let me answer this. Yeah, so if you have that in the same scene, you can play them. So you have to find a way to organize your macros with the scenes. But the answer is yes. You can use different macro snapshots in different scenes. If I think I understood the question in that way. So you can launch the macros with the scenes. Yeah, so even if I have like 10 left suite, we still have to pay for the upgrade. Yes, since it's an upgrade, you have to pay for the upgrade. Honestly, I don't know how much is it, but you have to pay for it. Yes. Any more questions? Comments? Okay, great session, Fo. Very comprehensive. I have a couple of questions. Does the scene follow action take proceed over clip follow action? Also, how does Hybrid compare to Valhalla reverbs? Okay, so follow action take proceeds over clip follow actions? No. So in this case, as you can notice, if I press my scene with follow actions, which is here, at the moment he's not going to take all the independent follow actions, but as soon as I play this, he's going to take all the follow actions of my clips. So, okay, so if the question is, if I apply this, something's going to happen immediately? No. But if you press the follow action of the scene, it's going to activate the follow actions of the MIDI clips or the audio clips independent. So in that case, yes. And the other question was about the reverb. Yeah, so, well, in this case, Valhalla reverbs, it depends of, well, it's kind of similar to the hybrid reverb. I can honestly hybrid reverb of Ableton Live, yeah. So Valhalla reverbs, I only have tried the vintage reverb. I can't tell you about the other ones. I know there's another products, but it's hard to compare because you can achieve they're different, but it doesn't mean one is better than other one. I use Valhalla reverbs a lot, but lately I have used more hybrid reverbs because it's giving me more realistic sound in the reverberation. So personally, I prefer hybrid reverb right now, but sometimes lately when I make tracks, I use Valhalla reverbs too, maybe for snares or for drums. And for voices, for vocals, I'm using hybrid reverbs. I hope that answered your question. When is Live 11 update available? And there will be a trial version for new users. Oh, great! Thank you for that question. So Live 11 is going to be available the next year, early next year. And actually, let me show you this. So here we have a beta, public beta. So you can join the public beta into this site, ableton.com/beta. So if you go there, you can sign in and apply to be one of the beta testers. I don't have the exact date, but it's going to be definitely a process to try the new Ableton Live 11. So if you're lucky, you can be one of the testers. And if there will be a trial version, well, this is kind of a beta process, not a trial version, but I don't know if we're going to have a trial version yet. We have done this with Ableton Live 10. I suppose we're going to keep doing the same. I'm not sure. But in the meantime, you can apply to be one of the public beta testers. Okay. Great. So let me see, I have the chat here. Okay, possible to upgrade to Ableton to 11. Okay, I don't know if those prices are, okay, yeah. Cool. So any more questions or comments? Since it's in beta version, it's compatible with Magenta. Yeah, technically yes, because Magenta is based on Max for Live device. So yeah. Ali Al Sahid, thank you. Fantastic overview. Yeah. So Sony, yes, is going to be available to work with Magenta. Thank you guys for being here. Awesome. So before you left, guys, yeah, if you have more questions, please go to ableton.com ableton.com live, and you're going to find more answers there. Again, join please the beta. Just go there and apply to the ableton.com beta and be one of the testers of the new software. And if you have any inquire, any comment about Ableton Live 11, so don't hesitate to get in touch in Instagram, Twitter, DJ Fo, Facebook, DJ Fo Colombia, or YouTube, DJ Fo. Thank you guys. I really appreciate this. Thank you for your time. Nice overview. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you, Dust. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Sunny, Hamad, Ali. Thank you for everyone for being here. Ali, do you want to do a little outro?
Yeah, sure. Thank you again, Leonardo. This was a very insightful intro to the new update of Ableton Live. I'm sure a lot of the guys here are excited to test it out for themselves whenever they have the chance. But we're not done yet, guys. We still have one more session coming up next Tuesday. We've just shifted things around. So the fourth and last session is going to be next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Bahrain time, 8 Dubai time. And it's going to be on conductive music with, again, Leonardo Roja. So please sign up and check out our Instagram page and website, soundandfiction.me, for details. Thank you again, and we'll see you all very soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.